Welcome back. It's time for the News Schmooze.
Karm, my OCD is, ever since we had Barry Michaels, the therapist of the stars, my OCD is kicking back up. What do you think of Ariel Helwani?
Joel, we are not playing. It was funny in the beginning. We didn't hear him. We are taping before we see him.
On to the
but
News Schmooze.
I saw him on, by the way, I saw him on videos, and I would be proud that if he would be my son.
It's a dig?
No.
It's a dig.
No,
He's actually a successful journalist.
No. I wanted to have 4 sons, so he could be one of the 4.
On to the News Schmooze. Karm, we're not even going to really address it in detail because we all know what happened, and this is going to air a week after it already happened, and it'll be out of the news. But what was your thought on the latest mass shooting? But this time, another school shooting.
You know what happens?
Sandy Hook 2.0. We'll get into it in a second, but let me just tell you a couple things that they've found out since the shooting. I'm not going to mention the shooter's name because he doesn't deserve to. But he told... the governor revealed this, and it's been substantiated in other reporting that he said, I'm going to shoot my grandmother. He was on a text exchange with a woman in Germany, a FaceTime call, I believe. And then he shot his grandmother. He said he's going to an elementary school. These were one-to-one text messages that were discovered after the tragedy with, as I said, a woman in Germany. One of his friends said that he would show up with cuts all over his face. He said it was from a kitten or a cat, and then admitted that he was cutting his face. In middle school, he was bullied for having a stutter and a strong lisp, and obviously last week it became too much to bear, and he decided instead of just taking his own miserable life, he was going to kill 19 young little kids and 2 teachers. There's no solution to this, is there?
Well, we cannot always blame the media or the internet, but certainly if they are worried about one word and they get you off Facebook and they worry about things that are not as unbelievably dangerous as this one, then they should focus more when people start to make threats. And I think he posted guns, right? I have to make a statement.
Yes.
I feel horrible. I was walking around and I was like feeling all the weight of the world. And I find it very disgusting that everybody who will now talk about the MMA or whoever talks about anything, they all feel like this, the proper thing is to go first into a big statement about how heartbroken they are about it. Obviously, we are all heartbroken about it. All of us.
You know there's an NBA coach. His name is Steve Kerr. Have you heard of him?
No.
His father, which it's amazing. So he was very angry the day this happened. There was a playoff game, and he said he's not talking about basketball, and he went crazy and called out politicians. His dad was killed in a terrorist attack in the Middle East when he was a young boy. So you don't want to hear from Steve Kerr. Is that what you're saying? Or
no, what I'm saying is that they think it's almost like putting in a token into the phone in all times. You know, they feel like they have to say something about it. Otherwise, they are not proper. They are not doing the right protocols.
Okay, well,
everybody knows everybody's heartbroken. Everybody is destroyed about it. And then, you know, don't start to talk about mixed martial arts.
Karm, we're about to talk about mixed martial arts.
I know. Then talk about this. Then don't talk about mixed martial arts.
Is there a solution to this problem? Good old Ted Cruz said there should only be one entrance and exit to a school. That's his solution, to basically create fire traps and not address the gun. Should the gun issue be addressed, Carmela? Yes or no?
Of course it should be addressed.
And what about these gun-toting Americans that are all into the Second Amendment who don't want their guns taken away?
It's so complicated, and
there was a state senator or state rep.
It's very complicated
right here in
because
Florida, yesterday he threatened Joe Biden. Said, "If you take away our guns, you'll see what happens to you." Is what he said yesterday. I mean, so is there a solution? You're my mother. You're supposed to come up with solutions. Is there a solution to the gun problem?
You are an adult and I'm a senile old woman. So why would I be on the spot to come up with a solution?
Are we going to see
It's one of the biggest problems. But why is it that in America they shoot, even here in Miami, which is relatively not a violent city,
Miami's like the most wild place on earth. What are you talking about?
No, but it's like
There's
people
4
just
homicides
shoot
here a day in the 80s.
in the 80s, but not now.
No, not now.
And they still there are the guns and there is the
Do
road.
you
I
get
don't understand road rage. What are they normal? So somebody passes me the wrong way, I'm gonna shoot them.
That's probably how I'm gonna die.
Yeah, because you're always passing people the annoying way.
I'm asking you a question. Is there a solution to this problem? Yes or no?
Of course, there is a solution to this problem.
I don't believe there is. You think there is?
There is.
Okay.
There is a solution to this, but it's a
And
very,
what
very
I
hard
told my-
to achieve this solution.
What I told my
And it won't happen overnight. And we always expect everything to happen overnight.
What I told my stunningly brilliant and beautiful wife is that mass shootings have now become covering Black Friday on Thanksgiving and retail sales during the holidays, which by this I mean
routine.
It's routine. You could replace whatever every Thursday or every Friday after Thanksgiving for 100 years. I've done stories on Black Friday. I could have taken a story from 2003 and aired it, and it would be no different than my story from 2020.
Or when you're standing in the water in the hurricane.
Correct. The cycle is exactly the same. The media goes crazy. They all descend on the town. They talk about the details of the shooting. The next day, they air the faces of the victims. The day
and
after
the third day, they
start to
disappear.
blame. No, the third day they start, like today, they're blaming the police.
No, they blame
and
they blame the first day.
Well, by the way, what did you think of Beto O'Rourke jumping into that meeting last week?
I'm not familiar with it.
He went in and it was a political stunt, and I thought he looked like a jackass. Anyway, we got to move on because we've got the great Ariel Helwani. 2/3 of Americans are trying to keep their financial struggles a street secret, and I'm one of them. A recent survey...
You just bragged 5 minutes ago how many people
I didn't tell you I paid them $20 a month each.
Oh.
A recent survey of 2,000 U.S. adults found that 66% avoid social events because they feel embarrassed or uncomfortable about their financial situation. They've steered clear of birthday parties, weddings, happy hours, networking events, etc., etc. And some, and I fall into this category, 67% engage in stress shopping when they feel financially overwhelmed and end up buying things they don't need.
You do that?
Me? Never.
No, I never do that. I never do that. I tell you what I do. I really start to worry and I call you and you get very angry at me.
And it kicks my OCD up, and then I do a podcast with you, which kicks my OCD up and even more. And then I'm just exhausted. And
maybe you should do what he did with his grandmother.
Killed his grandmother. Same thing that happened in Sandy Hook. The guy killed his mother. The grandmother didn't die. On average, what do you think people think they need to earn a minimum of a year to never feel stressed about finances again?
Can I just say something to you?
Yeah.
It is a tremendous difference if you do it in New York.
This is an average American poll across the entire United States. I'm asking you, what is the average number you think people feel they need to earn to not feel stressed about?
Enough to cover all their bills.
Give me a number.
I don't have a number. With inflation, it's more than yesterday.
$86,000. Do you know what I feel like I need?
I don't want to hear it. You are constantly...
$151 million would relax me. That's what would relax me.
You are a spoiled baby boy.
On to the last story. This one I thought was interesting. Do you know who Nancy Crampton Brophy is?
Absolutely not.
She's 71 years old. She wrote a book a few years ago, a best-selling book called How to Murder Your Husband. Do you know what she did?
She murdered her husband.
She was just convicted on Wednesday of second-degree murder for shooting dead her chef husband, Daniel Brophy, who's younger, 63, while he was working at the Oregon Culinary Institute. Police said he was shot twice and was found dead by his students. She had the plan in place, the deputy district attorney claimed in closing arguments last week. She had the opportunity to carry out the murder. She was the only one who had the motive, and she was convicted. Sometimes, what do they say? Truth is more...
no, the reality is better than art.
Than fiction.
Something
close.
Yeah.
They were in a loving relationship of more than 25 years. You know what the motive was? 'Cause I do.
Jealousy.
Money. $1.5 million insurance policy.